Hello Gunpla fans, this is Joe of Joe's Gunpla here with another video, and today we're going to be reviewing the high-grade Universal Century Revive Guncannon from the original Mobile Suit Gundam series. This kit uses a lot of the newer technologies in the high-grade line to its advantage, and it is a marked improvement overall compared to the original release. Whereas the original release was very blocky, this one is a lot more rounded, and the proportions are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to most people. Let's go ahead and take a look at articulation, which is pretty standard for the modern high-grade line. So the cannons, if my camera will stay focused, there we are. The cannons will go down pretty far, actually, so you can actually aim down as if he's up on a mountaintop or something like that. And they go up almost a complete perpendicular to the body. So that works out pretty well. Let's go ahead and flip those up out of the way. The head is on a hinge down in the body itself. So you get quite a bit of back and forth motion there. And then it's on a ball joint at the base of the head. So it can kind of tilt side to side. You can't get a full 360 just because the cannon mount area is in the way. As a matter of fact, you can only turn about that far to either side. A little inconvenient depending on what you're wanting to do, but overall not a huge hindrance. There's a little bit of dirt on the top of his head here. Sorry about that. So yeah, when you have him laying down or flying through space, or however you want to pose him, he can look almost forward completely. As you can see, that's he can get his head up pretty high, so that's pretty cool. We've got a hinge in the chest, ball joint as well. So you get all sorts of motion out of there, full 360 all the way around here. Arms can go up, let's see, yeah, about that far. So not quite a full 90 degrees, but still pretty good. 360 below the shoulder, 2 joints in the elbow. You get a full bend there until, of course, the armor hits the shoulder. Not a huge deal. And then the wrist is a ball joint. Now the waist, there's a joint inside the torso, so you can get him to, see if I can get a good angle here. Move his arm out of the way. You can get quite a good forward motion, a little bit of side to side, and then he's got a ball jointed waist down here, so you can get some turning there. Can't quite turn him very much unless you pop some things out of the way. Kind of got to lift his torso up a little bit, and then you can get a full 360 at the waist. Skirt armors, the sides are individually jointed on a hinge, and they don't go up very far, but it's not really a hindrance at all. We'll go with the leg articulation here in a moment. The skirts on the front come molded together, but you can clip them in the middle, and then they become ball jointed, so they can go up practically all the way. The legs can go forward very far, back, I'd say far enough. I mean, you're not gonna, I don't know anyone who would want it to go much further than that unless you're doing some very dynamic poses, which the Guncannon just really isn't usually suited for. And then if you twist the leg just a little bit, because it kind of gets hung up on the back skirt, you can get him to go out to the side fully. There's a 360 rotation down here, 2 joints in the knee, get a pretty nice bend. Not quite a full 180, but not bad. And then we've got a hinge up here in the ankle and a ball joint, so we're going to get all sorts of motion in there. And then we've got another hinge in the toe, so you got kind of like a flip-flop thing going on here. So overall, quite a bit of articulation. You can get some really cool dynamic poses out of this guy. And I mean, for a gun cannon, you know, that's not really meant to do a lot of hand-to-hand combat. You can actually get some pretty decent stances. As far as accessories go, you really only get the beam rifle itself, which is nicely detailed. Simple two-piece construction, a couple little details on the front and the back that you snap on, and then the scope can fold out like this. No foil stickers on this guy. Everything is pretty laid out fairly well, I might add, for color separation. The only painting I did on this guy was I did some silver behind the eye visor, make that brighten up quite a bit. Looks pretty good if you ask me. And then I painted the Vulcans yellow. I used real touch markers for the panel lining. And that was it. No other painting or anything was really required for this guy. The only other thing to note is that he comes with 2 holding hands, 2 open hands, and that's pretty much it. So while it may seem a little underwhelming, I mean, it's very true to the Guncannon design, and I think it looks great. I do actually prefer the older, boxy style of the original high grade, but that's just one man's opinion. I do also like the design of the joint covers on the original kit. I don't really care for this this sort of, let me get a focus on that, this weird sort of lined, layered look. That's just, I don't know, it's a personal preference. It's not really anything technical. But the articulation on this guy is phenomenal. I think the new high grade Revive line is going to be a very welcome addition to the Gunpla lineup. So that's about it for this kit. I really can't say anything bad about it. It's pretty nice. I bought him for about $13 on Amazon. They were running a Prime deal. And he does retail for 1,200 yen. So that wasn't, that was pretty much a bargain from an American retailer. So yeah, if you guys can find this guy for a decent price, I say pick him up, especially if you're a fan of the original series or anything with cannons. Pretty cool design. And I think, I take it back, there is one complaint that I have, is that the original kit had open palms that you could, when they were inserted, they were straight up like this, so you get a really good kneeling pose. Not a kneeling pose, I'm sorry, like on the ground pose, like this here, and he can really prop himself up with his arms, but you can't really do that with this one without it looking, well, kind of silly. So yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult though to modify the old hands or get yourself some posable hands. The only difference there would be the back of the hand detail is rather unique to the Guncannon. So there you go, a little short review for a relatively simple kit. And until next time, guys, happy building and take care.